The newest thing that they discovered in the latest Balenciaga ad is a roll of caution tape. So it's yellow caution tape, but instead of it saying caution, it says Balenciaga, but it's spelled B-A-A-L. It just keeps getting darker, and I don't know if it's gonna stop. Baal is an ancient Canaanite demon god who pagans ritualistically sacrifice their children to. This isn't a good look. Right back there, it's small and it's intentional, just like every other aspect of this marketing campaign.
All right, guys, so I'm finally getting around to talking about the Balenciaga story. If you haven't been living under a rock, you've heard about Balenciaga in their child fetishizing campaign, okay? There's a campaign where they have kids holding up teddy bears that look to be in bondage gear, right? They're using what looks like to be, I don't know what you call it. Honestly, I've never seen bondage gear. I've never had any bondage gear. I don't own any bondage gear, but it's the type of bondage gear that people use doing sex, okay? People that are into weird stuff, right? Which again, hey, it's a free country. Adults can be into that if they want to. I just don't think that it's right to have kids posing in teddy bears that have this type of adult sexual thing. So a lot of people are upset about this, and rightfully so, because it is evil, right? And for me personally, I always thought that Hollywood and fashion, they go hand in hand, and that this was just common knowledge that this is the type of stuff that they're into, right? I think it's obvious by now that Hollywood, which again goes hand in hand with fashion, is into this stuff, okay? And it's evil and it's disgusting, and I am glad that it is finally being called out. It's being brought to the forefront of the public conversation, because again, this is the type of stuff that, they're into. That is one of the main reasons why I am not all that into the Hollywood stuff. I'm not into fashion. In fact, I truly don't understand people who buy super expensive, high-end clothes, cars, jewelry, materialistic stuff. Like, I understand people who spend money on experiences, like vacation, stuff like that. I totally get that, right? Because life is about experiences. And I guess you can argue that wearing a Balenciaga shirt is an experience, but to me, it's the core functionality of wearing a shirt is to keep you warm and to put clothes on your body, right? So I don't believe in paying thousands of dollars for something that has very simple functionality, right? Very basic stuff. Again, this is why I don't believe in buying fancy cars and stuff like that, because the core functionality of a vehicle is to get you to point A and point B. A nice used car, right, can get you there perfectly, okay? And it will probably, be better off in the long run than buying one of these super expensive cars that requires a whole lot of maintenance. That, again, you're only benefiting from in the sense that you're allowed to flex. Again, I don't really believe in that stuff. So again, the whole Balenciaga thing is just kind of, it's weird to me that people are even into this type of stuff in the first place. But hey, this is capitalism, right? So I want to react to The View and their reaction to this Balenciaga story. And their reaction really does tell you why some people believe that it is hard to imagine sharing a country with these types of people in the long term, because the lack of outrage here over what you should be outraged over, it really is astonishing, okay? And does show you how liberals don't see this type of stuff as a serious issue. They really don't. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So fashion house Balenciaga, a very, posh, is under fire for a controversial fetish-themed ad campaign featuring child models, okay? Balenciaga blames the production company for the ads. They have a kid posing with S&M stuff. But the set designer says Balenciaga executives were on the set. They knew what was happening. Are they taking a page from Trump's notebook and say, I didn't know nothing. I know nothing, I say nothing.
Leave it to Joy Behar to bring up Trump in a conversation that has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. Classic.
What's going on here?
I found this ad campaign particularly distasteful in this moment. So there's growing anti-LGBTQ sentiment right now, and how it's being framed is as portraying, trans people as groomers. This is a term you'll hear on the far right. They're groomers. This is where you get the anti-drag queen stuff that we're seeing. So Balenciaga played right into their hands by having kids in a sexualized manner carrying something that represents, sex acts. I think it was a really bad misstep at a moment where it's just kind of a dangerous time to even give credence to those kind of insane takes.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I don't know why in the world they hired this woman to represent the conservative view, right? Because first and foremost, okay, this is a prime example of how the left has this all kind of wrong, okay? This Balenciaga thing, as far as I know, has nothing to do with LGBTQ, right? In fact, the outrage has nothing to do with LGBTQ, which actually proves the point that people on the right, conservatives, have been saying the whole time, is that if you are associating LGBTQ with sexualizing children, then that says more about how you feel about LGBTQ than us, because our problem is not with LGBTQ doing it. It's with anybody who does it, period. We don't care if they're straight, LGBTQ, asexual, whatever. We have a problem with everybody. This has nothing to do with LGBTQ, and conservatives are outraged. Well, what does that tell you? It tells you that the outrage doesn't have anything to do with LGBTQ. So the outrage over groomers, again, has nothing to do with LGBTQ. And in fact, I'll go as far as to say I don't associate the LGBTQ community with grooming or sexualizing children, any of that. I don't see the average person that is gay, bisexual, whatever. I don't see them as somebody that is trying to sexualize children. I don't see that, right? But it just so happens that a lot of the things that we're seeing that is being taught to kids in school, that are being pushed on children, are being done by people who associate themselves with that community. But there are also people in that community that are against that push back against those people who want to talk to kids about sexuality and gender and all these things that kids honestly shouldn't be talking about. But again, the point is that she automatically thinks in her head, she's the one that is associating grooming with LGBTQ, not conservatives. Because again, nobody mentioned anything about LGBTQ when it comes to Balenciaga. It has nothing to do with LGBTQ, but for whatever reason, she decided to throw that in there to say, well, it comes at a bad time because of LGBTQ and the right thinks that everybody is trying to sexualize kids and blah, 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 blah. This is the exact same take that Anna Kasparian had on TYT.
Stuffed animal purses are outfitted with bondage gear. But why? But why? How about you just make a good product and don't mess around with weird ad campaigns like this? People don't like that, don't like it. And I hate that it provides fodder for right-wingers who already think that everyone's sexualizing the kids.
So you heard that, right? Again, this is the left's response. They're saying, well, we don't like this. We're letting you guys know we don't like it. But what we really don't like is the fact that it makes the right look sane, right? It makes it look like these right-wingers, they're actually on to something, right? They're not just making this stuff up off the top of their heads. It's not just coming from a place of bigotry and homophobia and transphobia. It actually makes it look like they're on to something, right? It proves the conspiracy theorists, again, they might just be on to something. Again, it's shameful. It's shameful, bruh. It really is. These people, again, on layups. This is a layup, bruh. You come out here and say this is disgusting. We don't approve of this, and that's it. What you don't say is that, well, we don't like it, but we really hate the fact that it makes the right look like they, are actually on to something here. Again, it really blows my mind.
I mean, we can't even show the picture because it's so distasteful. But what's also very distasteful is like Balenciaga lately. I mean, their stuff is just ugly. I mean, the bag that their little girl is holding is ugly. Do you remember when Kim K was dressed in Balenciaga for the Met Gala? Look at that. Oh, she looked like a bat or something. I mean, so they are, I don't.
Yeah, this is stupid, right? Again, another reason why I'm not into fashion. But again, you see how they deflect the conversation. Well, I don't like it, but you know, we need to talk about how bad the Balenciaga stuff looks, right? How I really don't like the way their clothes look in the first place, which again, it's a deflection from the real conversation. But see, they don't want to have a conversation because they know that if they actually get into the conversation, again, conservatives are right. Conservatives are correct on this issue. This stuff is happening, okay? And you're seeing this stuff everywhere. But again, they don't really want to address it. They don't really want to address it because a lot of stuff is coming from people associated with the left.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if their intent is to be subversive and draw attention to the issues, or are they just making ugly things?
What I don't understand is how they can sue somebody when they designed a bag for their holiday season.
Yeah.
The bag is shaped like a teddy bear wearing bondage gear. Now, it takes hundreds of people.
Ugly.
It takes hundreds of people in a fashion house like Balenciaga to approve a design, to approve an ad campaign. So I'm sorry, you guys. I know you're trying to cover your ass, but you got bigger problems than. You gotta look inside your house because you've got people who are not doing their job well and who have no damn common sense.
And anyone who's worked in a company, it doesn't take a fashion house. Any company you work in, we all complain of bureaucracy and how many nets and loops and how many eyeballs and lawyers and standards have to look at every single thing. There is no world in which that was not seen on the front end, on the set. Seen to approve the pictures.
They like the ugly stuff.
Yes.
So it's like been happening over and over again. They had a garbage bag shaped like a trash bag, and it was $1,790.
Were they the potato chip bag too?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I think they're the
it was
ones
a Frito-Lay bag.
Don't you remember what's her name? Kim Kardashian was wrapped in crime tape that said Balenciaga from head to toe.
Oh, I don't remember.
It must
that
have hurt to take off.
Maybe we're getting punked. I think maybe it took this campaign for us to say
is it a subversive campaign?
But for the record, Kim Kardashian, who was the ambassador for this brand, is reevaluating her relationship with Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Okay, so just saying.
Oh, and I have.
Here we have a note.
Balenciaga has apologized and is taking legal action against
their
the production company North 6 and set designer Nicolas Desjardins. An agent for Desjardins said everyone from Balenciaga was on the shoot and was present on every shot and worked on the edit of every image in post-production, adding that he is being used as a scapegoat and is hiring a legal team. North 6 has declined to comment on the allegation.
Yeah, so I mean, basically in a nutshell, Balenciaga knows exactly what they were doing, right? They know exactly what they were doing. They know exactly what they was putting out there. They know the type of messages that they were putting out there. They're just leaning into what people already thought about Hollywood because that's who they're marketing to. That's who are buying their stuff. Okay, it's you know, rich kids and Hollywood types, right? Rich liberal women, more specifically. That is who they're targeting, right? And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's very obvious that again, this is what they're into. This is what they like, and they knew what they were doing, 100%. But again, I just find it fascinating here how the outrage on the left is not from the fact that they use kids to promote this type of stuff, and you know, bondage gear and all that other stuff and fetishes. No, the outrage is more so about, well, their stuff was ugly anyways, right? And we don't like the fact that this helps the right, right? It helps conservatives look like they're sane people. It's just funny, man. The left, again, when you have a layup, when you can clearly come out here and say, this is wrong, we don't support this type of stuff, you just miss a layup, right? You just miss. You just can't help it because they're so brainwashed and their hate for conservatives that they simply don't want to just come out and just say, look, this is just wrong. Crazy stuff, man. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.